So I have a lot of new subscribers now here on Geekdom 101, and first of all, I want to say welcome. My name is D, and I run Geekdom 101, or whatever you want to call it. I guess I am Geekdom 101, and I did a video. The reason why I'm even saying this, I did a video, I want to say like 8-9 months ago, that I know a lot of the new subs have never seen, where I talked about what Toriyama's actual role is in Dragon Ball Super. This is information that I had received from Japan, and it just kind of got out. Well, now, Anime News Network uploaded a brand new Toriyama interview. Excuse me, it's not with Toriyama, it's with Toyotaro, who talks about Toriyama. And I wanted to talk about this interview. I know some people have already talked about it. I wanted to kind of give my thoughts and kind of go through the interview to explain and talk about what Toyotaro actually says. So, again, I'm going to leave a link to the interview down below. Pretty much validates kind of what we've been saying here for a while about Toriyama's influence on Super, and I'm still very surprised to find that people actually believe that Toriyama's not involved, and it's mind-boggling to me that somebody could say that. You just don't know what you're talking about if you think that, and really this confirms what Toriyama's actual involvement is. Of course, the first paragraph here talks about how the plot lines and oversight is provided by Toriyama, but the artwork from Toyotaro. However, Toriyama still does the initial designs for the characters. So guys like Hit and Frost and Kabe and Goku Black, that's all Toriyama's original art. So they pretty much start talking about how, the Super manga is being published in English. It's not really too important information here. Those of you who are wondering, actually, I do have something to say about this. If you're wondering when the Super manga is coming out, like if you're, okay, I want to buy the Super manga in English, Viz on their website already has translations digitally, but if you want to actually buy the manga and hold it in your hands and whatnot, a physical copy of it in English, it's coming out next year. It'll be out, I think, early 2017. Also, this interview's from New York Comic Con when Toyotaro was there. And, they ask him about working with Shueisha. Now, here's the interesting part we want to talk about right here. First of all, Toyotaro right there with that, that wacky haircut. All I'm going to say is that haircut is wacky, yo. They ask him, it sounds like you have a pretty close working relationship with Akira Toriyama. He gives you the outline and you make changes. What's the most interesting thing about working with him? And then he says, every month I'll create a storyboard for him to review. Then he'll give me input and suggest changes. When I'm working with Toriyama, there are many portions he gives me prompts for coming up with, but he's very particular about other things and always points them out for me to correct. And when he corrects me, I think, wow, I guess I don't completely understand the way he looks at things. So his corrections and feedback are incredibly accurate and helpful. It's a lot of fun to be able to get closer to his way of thinking. So again, so you guys understand, Toriyama still writes the basic plot line, I've used the word manuscript before. He writes the manuscript of the arc. The Future Trunks arc was written months ago. It's already written, it's done. We don't know what the outcome's going to be as of this recording, but it's already been written. And then when Toriyama writes it, he hands it off to Toei, the animation studio, and to Toyotaro, and then Toyotaro begins to work on the Dragon Ball Super manga. So he goes on to say that he's surprised that Toriyama's okay with somebody like him carrying on his work. And for those of you guys who don't know the story of Toyotaro, Toyotaro actually drew not the original Dragon Ball AF, like the phony one from Spain, that was a big hoax. He drew the Dragon Ball AF manga when his name was Toyble. Well, we're 99% sure that he's Toyble. In this interview here, he kind of admits it. The Dragon Ball AF manga was a fan manga, and then he would go on to write the Dragon Ball Heroes, I think it was Victory Mission manga, and then he went on to do Super. So think about this, guys. This kid grew up a fan of Dragon Ball like all of us did, and now he's actually working hand in hand with Toriyama, dude. He is actually working with Toriyama on new Dragon Ball material. So if you're out there and you're an artist, and if you're somebody who, you want to write comics or novels, don't give up your dream, man. Don't give up your dream. You know what I mean? Because you never know. Like, this guy's a great example of somebody who didn't give up his dream and is now working with Toriyama. So he goes on to say he's very confident in reproducing what Toriyama has created with the characters and subtleties. When it comes to robots and mecha, it's something I never really tried to mimic myself, but I realized I need to study up on them. So that's a good little tidbit there that he thinks he's a good follower, and he is. He absolutely is. They ask him about when he first started reading Dragon Ball. This information, again, you can check the article out, but I want to really right here go into this right here. You made a little freedom to suggest changes to Toriyama's outline. So what's the biggest alteration you've made? He says, fundamentally, I don't deviate from the major plot lines that Toriyama has laid down. As far as the plot getting from A to B, that's written as Toriyama lays it down, or it lays down. But as far as the details between those plots, I'm free to fill them in myself. The Trunks arc within Dragon Ball Super will hit the US soon, and while a certain reveal is the same in the manga, anime, and Toriyama's outline, both the anime and manga will have different ways of getting there, each taking advantage of the unique aspects of their medium, so I hope everyone enjoys comparing them. The parts I want my fans and readers to look for, the comedic gags, that's pretty free to create those. So again, guys, that pretty much tells us what manga chapter 17 was saying, that Goku Black being revealed as Zamasu is going to be different from the manga and the anime. We already have the anime reveal. We're waiting for the manga. Now, I'm presuming that's what he's talking about. I don't know 100%. I can't imagine there being another reveal in this arc, though. So, I mean, there you go. But there will be differences in the manga and anime, which is why I always tell people you need to read the manga and, or at least watch my videos where I recap the manga so you at least know what's going on and what changes were made, as well as watch the anime. There is no, just again, I'm going to reiterate this, there's no primary canon. The quote, canon, if you want to say that, is whatever Toriyama's original manuscript is, which again, we'll never get to read it most likely. So it's like there's no point in arguing about canon and is the manga more canon to the anime. That's not how Dragon Ball Super works. It's Toriyama giving his vision to two different people, and then they take it and they mold it and make it their own. That's how it works. Let's see here. He goes on to say that he receives from Toriyama words on a paper without drawings or anything. So again, that's what I was talking about. Toriyama writes bullet points. Toriyama does do, like I said, the initial character designs, but he doesn't draw any actual manga panels. So when you see like fights, like, between Hit and Goku or whatever, that's not Toriyama, that's Toyotaro. But Toriyama will write something down like, I'll give you an example, like Goku versus Hit fight, and it's a great battle. So, I mean, that's kind of how it is. And then they go and they take it. Now, this is the other interesting part right here. He asks, what's the relationship with you and the Super anime? He says that at this point, he's not very involved. Looking forward, or going forward, I'll be more involved, but at this point in time, I receive more information from the anime team that I give to them. The anime is a little bit further along than I am, but in the near future, I'll be ahead. So the information will be going back to them. Regardless, we'll continue to support one another as we go forward. So they do trade ideas with each other. That's good to know. I think that Toyotaro maybe change some things for the manga purposely to make it different from the anime. But what's interesting, the big detail here is that he says the manga will go ahead of the anime soon. So that tells me that the future Trunks arc of Super in the manga will be a lot shorter. In the anime, it's the longest arc we've had so far in Dragon Ball Super. It's the longest one, episode-wise. Manga, it'll be a lot shorter, which is kind of a bummer, but at the same time, I kind of understand him wanting to speed things along. So then right here, he actually admits that all he's done is Dragon Ball spin-offs. We have thought for years that he is the same man who called himself Toyble years ago. It's Toyotaro. I mean, it's pretty much right here. Like, he's not just some new guy right here. That's what he does. He also goes on to say that he was inspired by Disney and Marvel films and Pixar. So I really like that. I think that's a good thing. And he talked about how in the upcoming Trunks storyline, there's a part where Trunks Tutor explains a certain important part of the story, and I can't go into more detail. So I'm not sure if that's already been explained or not. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but that might be a little mini teaser for things to come. So, yeah, there you go. That's the Toyotaro interview. It's on Anime News Network. I'll go ahead and put the link down below. And now, once again, this reiterates how the Super manga or the Super story works. Toriyama writes the basic outline, very basic bullet points and story points. Then he passes it off to Toei, passes it off to Toyotaro. They create their own individual works, the manga, the anime, and of course, they consult with Toriyama. And that's pretty much how it works. I mean, that's it. Like, definitely spread this video out to people who are still having canon debates about this, who are still wondering what is canon. Like, I might do another video about the canon thing because there's so much misinformation out there about what is and isn't canon. And the reality is with Dragon Ball, it's way too complex for there to be a singular canon. It's not possible based on, what they're giving us. But every Dragon Ball fan has their own personal canon. You have your own, I guess, perception of what is canon. We all do. So there you go. Anyways, I want to thank you guys again for watching the video. Punch that subscribe button if you haven't. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I love talking about Dragon Ball and Star Wars once in a while. Talk to you guys later.